APRS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, using a particular data structure called the PDU. The long and the short of this is, using this particular setup I have here, I can connect my radio to my Ethernet, which means that if I send packets to it, I can broadcast packets, and if I receive packets, after demodulating them, I can take those packets and use them directly on my computer. So I can build a Wi-Fi card out of software-defined radio, or a Bluetooth card, or a smart radio using DMR or Fusion or any of the other digital modes. I could, for example, pretend to be I don't know, smart meter on the side of a house, or an industrial control system using a backlink wireless. The cool thing is what we're going to do here, we're just going to take a message strobe. All this is going to do is it's going to continuously send the word test. We're going to take this and send it through a random BPDU generator. Long and the short of it, all it's going to do is going to create random data for us to simulate us picking up information on the radio. I didn't quite want to test it on real radio because, as you saw with the FM radio, if that's not going to work, we may not get anything fun. We're going to pass that to one of these two units. So these two particular blocks do two really cool things. This one, the socket PDU, allows me to take whatever I receive on the radio and send it to a telnet port. I can then connect to that port and send anything I want to the telnet port and broadcast it over the radio, and anything I receive is sent back to the telnet port. So I can simulate many different digital protocols this way. If I need to be a little bit more advanced and run TCP/IP, I can run this TAN-TAP. TAN-TAP basically means I'm going to take everything that I receive and treat it as though it's an Ethernet frame, which means that my computer is essentially on an area network with that device. I'm not going to run both at the same time. It'll be quite silly and it won't get any demonstration across, so I will be disabling one of them at a time. We're then going to take that and send it out down here to the message debug. All the message debug is doing for us is printing out on the screen what's going on. But if I pull this up, we should see any second now. I guess it's not going to connect until we connect to it. Alright. Let us open up a terminal. Telnet to our local host. I'm sorry this is so small. So, here, I'll move this over here, and I'll move this over here. What you should be able to see as we're tracking this is on this screen over on this side, what's happening is it's printing out every few seconds random data. It's entirely made up, but it could be a protocol. You can see it continue to print and print and print as we're receiving all of that data on a telnet port. So now if I wanted to, as a nefarious evil person or somebody doing research on whether or not my devices are able to meet specifications, I could then start typing in here, and everything I type would go back to the source, theoretically. This isn't set up obviously to a demonstration where I can actually broadcast on the radio. One, probably highly illegal to do that in bands that aren't controlled, and two, I probably don't want to break anything right now. But I'll leave it up to your imagination what's possible. The other thing we can do, as I said before, is we can set it up as an Ethernet device. So the cool thing about the Ethernet device, as I said, now my computer is on the network with it. Now, the fun thing about this is, when it brings itself up, your computer's going to send a lot of traffic out. It's going to send things out like, hello, I'm a computer, do you happen to have an IP address for me? Hello, I'd like to also know where I can get this particular information. Is anyone on here speaking IPv6? And all sorts of other information. On the other hand, if we're listening to a device that also uses Ethernet, for example Wi-Fi, we'll be able to receive all that information. And our computer could, for example, figure out what IP address that device is running on a TCP network on some obscure wireless protocol, and then talk to it. So if we set this one up, and we'll stop that one, give this one a run, it's gonna fail. Why'd you fail? Oh, this by the way is what I'm talking about in terms of, oh, I'm not running as root. Huh, fancy me. So I can't create a tunnel protocol device on my computer without being the super user. So I'll just do that. Alright. Do that, and we should. Perfect! Alright, and I'll open up here. I'll pull this over here. You should be able to see each of these here is a supposed Ethernet frame that I'm randomly generating to send to my computer. The computer right now is screaming at me that it doesn't understand what this person is mumbling about, but it is able to read it, see it. And if I, for example, pull this up, I can see right here, I've got a brand new interface. This is that tunnel interface. I can now, for example, oh, okay, apparently you can't see it, but I can. There we go. Kind of. Let's make that a little bit clearer. All right, so we can see here that I've got this brand new interface, all right? And I can already see that I've already assigned it an IPv6 address. I can now assign it IPv4 addresses. I could send traffic to other IPv6 address devices, IPv4 devices. And all of this could be done directly through the radio if I could have a transmit unit. Again, a transmitting radio is only $300, so you can imagine the possibilities there. That's all I've got lined up for the demo this evening. I'm hoping there are some questions. I'd love to answer some. I'm sure all of this has been quite confusing. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you get your radio online, or is there somewhere local?
I don't know of anywhere local you can purchase these yet, but as I said, online, $30 will buy it for you in Canadian and the shipping covered. You may have to pay duties depending on how they list it. I'm not 100% sure as it crosses the border, but I get $30, $35, $40 tops. That'll get you the radio. All right. Appreciate your time and attention. Hope you all found it enjoyable.
Well, you're going to do one on the Enigma?
Thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate that. A little slower. I did forget to mention earlier when I was talking, Alex has been working on a course in Hamfest for us, but his main assistant has been Sabrina, so thank you too for all the work you've put into this stuff. Yeah.
My copy.
Oh,